Michael, hello. So, this is the second time that we're talking in this type of environment where I'm somewhat interviewing you. The first time was on our podcast, which was so much fun. And if
Yes.
you're watching this video for the first time, push pause, or maybe watch all of it. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But listen to our conversation between Michael and myself. It was so much fun on our last season of the Hectic podcast.
Yeah, it was fun to record.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So, Michael, what we're doing is we just want to introduce you, Michael, the human, the hectic contributor, the incredible thought catalyst, the amazing writer and content contributor to the rest of the world. I have some quick get to know you type questions. So people that read your articles are like, who's the person behind the article? They can watch this quick video and learn a little bit more about you. Okay, so
Cool.
the first question that I have is, in less than 30 seconds, what would you say is the most unique thing about you?
Oh, wow. Okay, less than 30 seconds. Well, I love telling stories, and I've been sort of thinking about myself lately as somebody who likes to tell stories of other people. You know, it's like, uh, darn, my mind went completely blank right there.
That's okay. Just start over, and then the video editors will answer it. So you just give it a second, and then just start as if you're answering that question for the first time.
Okay. Well, I think the most unique thing about me is that I'm really hungry to tell other people's stories.
Hmm.
You know, like I think that everybody has a story to tell, and everybody wants to tell their story. They're very hungry, and they don't really enjoy going out there and letting people know about themselves. But sometimes what they really want is somebody to be hungry and interested in them. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I like to do. I like to go out, and when I have a conversation, a lot of times I try to keep the focus on someone else. And inevitably, when that does happen, something brilliant happens. Something they say something amazing, something really insightful, and that's where I get like my charge, my
Yeah.
life comes out of it. Not just necessarily through me, but through having someone else talk about themselves.
Yeah. And you can see that perspective with the articles that you write. And I think that it's why your articles are so highly engaged with, is because, rather you're telling a story from someone else's point of view, right? I'm getting to speak with Becky Joe Harris here, which I'm very excited for next week. Whether you're from someone else's point of view, or you're telling from a third party point of view on something interesting that you may see as a trend. Like, you do neutral really good to be able to tell a good story about it so people can come to their own conclusions with the right perspective. And I love that about your writing.
Thank you.
The next question that I have been asking our friends here, and this is leaning into authenticity around this incredible space that we're in. The question is, what is your favorite thing about freelancing? And of course, what is your least favorite thing about freelancing?
I love the freedom that comes with freelancing, the free in freelancing. I love being able to select all my different projects. I love just working for so many different websites and places. Sometimes a job might only last for maybe like one project or one article, and other times it'll last for like multiple articles. I'll be working with them for years. But every time I think the project that I'm working on is something new, something I can learn from, something that can help me grow personally. So that's like the best thing about freelancing. The worst. Now, I know that a lot of people say that the worst thing about freelancing is that it's unstable, that sometimes, you get a lot of work and sometimes you don't get any work. That's never really been the case with me. I've been very lucky. I've been able to have a lot of different projects. I hustle a lot. So I get a lot of different work from different people. But it is true that sometimes like a lot of projects start piling up and I have to like spend all my time working certain days, on three or four different clients. So that can get really hectic.
Yeah, I see what you mean there.
Um, but by and large, I think that's kind of like where freelancing can get kind of tricky for me. And I think that the important thing for me, and that any freelancer can do, is to really take stock of their mental health every day and to see what they need. There are days like just yesterday where I needed to get away from the computer. I needed to go out and take a walk which is very tricky in Arizona because the average temperature right now is 15 degrees. But that's what I needed to do. I needed to take an
Yeah.
off day. I needed to go out and see a play, watch a movie, walk around the mall because that's really nice and air conditioned. So that's something I think that freelancers need to do. And I think that's something all freelancers need to keep in their work schedules. I mean, don't think about work as just being in front of your computer and writing or
Yeah.
interviewing or researching. Think about freelancing as the whole picture. All those times spent walking or eating or taking a mental health day or practicing self-care, all of that I think is part of freelancing right there. And if you look at it as a
Yeah.
whole, I think you'll be much happier. And in fact, a lot of really good hectic articles go into self-care and practicing good mental health. So that's something I really appreciate about hectic blogs.
What a great transition. Completely unscripted, but I mean, look, we have to take the opportunity to transition when we can. And I was specifically going to ask, if someone has been maybe reading a few articles from you, or this is their first article that they may read from you,
Mhm.
what do you hope they take away from that article? Whatever it is, what do you hope that they take away as they're reading it? What should they be thinking about as they lean into maybe some of the insights that you covered or right on the perspective you have? What would that be?
Oh, that's really easy, actually. The word just popped in my head as you were seeing the question. Inspiration.
Uh,
I hope they get inspired by whatever I write, whether it's being inspired by somebody I was interviewing, like Becky Jo Harris, who'll be on the podcast later on, learning about her life and her approach to freelancing, getting inspired by some of the more practical how-to articles, like how to earn a better living as a freelancer, how to get a better paycheck by not just asking for a raise. There are different strategies that I offer in my articles that could apply to you. Some of them might not, some of them might, and others might need to be modified for your use. But I think in all these cases, you can look at the articles that I write and find something that you can use, something that applies to your situation right now. And I hope that you can take inspiration from it. I hope you can find something of value in it and then just apply it and make your life better.
oh, what an incredible answer. I really, really love that answer. I am inspired by that answer alone. Okay, so where can people keep up with you if they've binge read all of your articles and they want to engage with you, they want to continue your conversation, maybe they were inspired and they want to give you credit, where can they keep up with you?
Okay. Well, I do have a website. It's michaeljungwriter.com, Michaeljung writer.com. And that's basically my main website where you can hire me if you like. You can also see a lot of samples of my other work. So I write for a lot of different websites. I write for Looper. I've written for Screen Rant. Those are both entertainment websites. I've written articles for Constant Contact on digital marketing. So you can basically go to my samples page and see any other article that I wrote, video scripts that I've helped design, and just watch or read any of it and get entertained and spend maybe a few minutes, learning about the Marvel Cinematic Universe or fun facts about Stargirl or whatever like that. So I hope you get entertained. I hope you get more inspired. If you want to get in contact with me, there's an email there. Excuse me, there's an email there that you can write to me. I'm always happy to hear from my readers and see what they got out of my writing. If you'd like to work with me, that's great too. And I'm always available to maybe even give more resources. So if you have questions for me, about freelancing or digital marketing or anything else that you think that I might be able to help you with, I'm always happy to send you an email and let you know, what I think about your situation and what might help you.
Oh man. Okay. So I knew that would be the last question, but before I end, I think there's something really important that I want to say. And look, I have the mic, so I'm able to say that. Okay. So you sold yourself twice in that outro about where to keep up with you. And I think that's such a valuable trait. You mentioned how, you haven't really experienced so much of, of the roller coaster, if you will. And I think one of the key reasons is because of what you just did. You took the opportunity to lead with the evidence, to ask for the opportunity. It's
Mhm.
really little nuanced things like this that I'm sure you didn't even realize that you were doing, because it's automatic now. But for that freelancer that's emerging or aspiring at this point, listen and look at what Michael just did so openly it wouldn't have made sense for him to pitch this if you think of it in like the small container that, a lot of us can get stuck in thinking of. Well, the audience isn't aren't customers potentially, right? These are people that are freelancers. Why would I want to pitch to them? Well, maybe there's an opportunity where a web designer is looking at this and they need someone to brand judge it. And so he just put it out there that he's available to work. And I think that is so important. So, Michael, I congratulate you on that. And I hope
Thank you.
others were able to pick up on that incredible strength that you have.
Well, thank you very much. And I think it all goes back to being curious about other people. Yes, I want to work. Yes, I want, additional jobs, but I'm just really curious to see what everybody out there is doing and what
Love
I can
that.
learn from you. And that's part of the enjoyment that I get out of freelancing too.
I love that. I love that. Okay, we'll follow your articles. We'll keep up with you on LinkedIn and Instagram and all the channels you're on. And if you want to reach out directly to Michael, please follow his website. We'll make sure that we put it in the notes of the video. All right, Michael, say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for talking to me.